What's going on, Cancer? And welcome to the Chariot Friends. Justin here, and I hope you're feeling wonderful today. So, for those of you who are returning, welcome back, Soul Tribe. I appreciate your subscriptions, your likes, and shares. Your support really is just incredible, Cancer, and it keeps us growing. And for those of you who are new, welcome. I'm happy Higher Self has brought you here. We are in for an amazing journey. So the purpose of this channel, for those of you who have Cancer in your placements, Sun, Moon, Rising, Jupiter, wherever, Cancer, this one's for you. And I do tarot card spreads based off our ruler here, the good old moon. And I'll talk about this as Rhonda, for those of you who are new. And I'll talk about what sign she's in, what phase she's in, and when she's going void of course, just all those lunar shenanigans. Rhonda's always void of course. Just zen. And just so you're all aware, this is a general reading, not a one-to-one, so take what resonates with you. You can leave some of the lunar shenanigans with me. Never force a reading on the situation, and everything will be fantastic, Cancer. Now, let's jump into it. Your space has been cleansed. Crystals. Feeling lovely. Just great energy all around here, Cancer. I love it, Cancer. Jupiter's here. It's Jupiter Day. So Jupiter rules over Thursday. So happy Thursday. Hope you're feeling well, feeling abundant, feeling expansive, Cancer. And you know what, Cancer? Hope you're feeling a little spiritual too, because the moon is going void of course today. The moon is going to be going void of course at about 3:28 p.m. and that's going to be Eastern time. Thank you. And then she'll be moving from Pisces into Aries on Friday, the 1st of September, at about 9:24 in the morning. So we're looking at about a 17-hour, 56-minute void of course time there, Cancer. And with the void of course energy, this is great for just recharging your batteries, doing some meditation, some introspective work, some reflection. You know, just kind of find you and all the emotions that you may have picked up along this during these last couple of days here, Cancer. And you may also notice too with this energy that your plans may be subject to unexpected changes, but also too, Cancer, that people may be less likely to make decisions during this time. So something to just be aware of there. And then with the moon being in Pisces, this is a very intuitive placement for the moon. It's a very special place, I feel, because, you know, Pisces is very spiritual, very psychic, imaginative energy. And so you might be feeling more, you know, like your imagination is just kind of like in a more kind of dreamy state there, Cancer. And that's something too, Cancer. You know, pay attention to your dreams during this time. And if you notice that you're like an active dreamer, keep like a dream journal by you or something. Kind of jot this stuff down. There could be, you know, higher self reaches out to you in very, very interesting ways. I've been actually dreaming quite a bit here as of late, and it's been some interesting developments that kind of come through there. But you may also notice too there, Cancer, that you might be feeling a little more empathetic and more compassionate towards others there, Cancer. So, you know, it's very beautiful energy that Pisces really does have a love for everyone. So it's very wonderful energy, but we do want to be sure to be mindful of boundaries there, Cancer, as well, considering that energy. But you might notice too, Cancer, that you might feel, because Pisces, where they are, because they're so susceptible to the energies, very similar to us in a way, that you might want, if you feel like you may want to seclude yourself, you know, just kind of get lost in your own kind of world there. So, you know, again, great time to go take advantage of this void of course energy there, Cancer. And then you're got the full supermoon there, Cancer. I hope you left out some water out there, Cancer. Get your full moon water on. Start doing some manifestation, because that's a great energy for that. You know, for the full moons for, you know, manifestation. You know, we're reaching the end of a cycle here, or, you know, reaching that midpoint of a cycle there, and it's a time of celebration or a time of reflection. You know, depending on how things went down. You know, might be feeling a little more emotional than normal, because now the moon is just you know, she's bearing it all. But also, this is great energy for reaping what you've sown, and, you know, just doing some psychic and inner development, some healing, Cancer. Just really just wonderful energy with this full moon. And the full super moon in general, though, is just like when the moon appears closer and brighter than normal. So, you know, you might, because I noticed during the last full super moon I had a little troubles sleeping. So, you know, I actually went out with the Cancer, and we just stood up at the moon and just sort of did some contemplating. It was actually really cool there, Cancer. But last little bit here. these decks that I'm skipping ahead. These readings that I do, they're not gender specific. So apply these energies to people as they make sense for your situation. And then the decks that I'm working with, I've included links for them down in the description box below. So definitely check that out if you're interested. But also down below some links for some other readers that I like watching Cancer. So definitely check them out. I think you would really enjoy them. One of them's a Cancer, so I think you definitely go spread the love. But let's get to your first card here. Oh, Cancer, look at that. We're soaring amongst the clouds here. Because you got the 8th card of Leos here, which is the hot air balloon. And with this card, this is a card of balance, uplifting, freedom, going with the flow, rise above, don't resist, new perspectives, untouchable, defying gravity, continuous flow, ascension, view, elevate, and feeling good. And the energy that's coming through here, Cancer, is the don't resist. And that's interesting because I feel like for some that there's this energy of maybe for some it's just like maybe we've been getting these sort of, oh, I feel like we might be continuing off of yesterday, Cancer. We might be still getting, let's talk about that spiritual energy with Jupiter and Neptune. I know I'm getting pumped. But I feel like maybe for some that maybe we have been, just like I was talking about, I feel like with the full moon being in Pisces, you know, that maybe we've been feeling a little more connected to the divine, to like higher sources, you know, things of just like, I don't know, just like a different vibration. And I feel like there's this need to, it's not necessarily, like I'm almost getting like an energy of surrender in a sense for some, and just kind of like really kind of paying attention to the intuitive insights and inspirations and ideas and things that come your way, Cancer. And you know, try not to resist that flow there, because maybe even this is something too, this may be coming out as an impulse to maybe you want to been feeling like you want to dance more, or maybe you want to get outside in nature, or maybe you want to sing, or maybe you want to build, or maybe you want to make music, or whatever that's looking like, Cancer. I feel like that these ideas and things along those lines, those that I don't know, that need to like, I feel like it's like a need to just like tap into that more imaginative energy and allow yourself to really kind of tune in with the energy, sync up with the moon. I feel like, Cancer, you know, I feel like whenever the moon is out, especially like this, you know, just like being there and just like paying attention to what that energy makes you feel, because I mean, the moon rules our sign, you know, and it's just like we have a really, you know, where the moon affects everyone, we really do have the closest connection with the moon. So it's just like, I feel like there's, I don't know, for some it's just like, for all of you probably, because I mean I feel that stuff too. It's just like, you know, paying attention to how these energies affect you, Cancer, and how, you know, really being, you know, aware of like how a full moon feels in Pisces, as opposed to when, you know, maybe the next time that we're in the waning gibbous with Pisces, or when the moon's in Taurus, or in Aries, or in Scorpio, or in, you know, Aquarius, you know, just like all of those things. But I'm also am kind of getting for some others though. Now this is we're taking a little left turn here, Cancer, because I feel that there's this some considering that, and take this as it resonates, Cancer. I feel like there is a need to kind of really trust your intuition, because I almost feel like because with us being a water sign and being as empathetic and as compassionate, as loving as we are, you know, we are, I don't know, like I'm almost getting like being mindful of boundaries, as far as like your boundaries, as far as like don't not letting others like cross you with stuff, you know, like there may be this energies of like, I don't like it's. I'm almost feeling like not necessarily like kind of like a taking advantage of you, Cancer. Like, you know, people trying to, you know, use you know, and it may not come across in a malicious way, but it just feels like that, you know, if you tend to give a lot, Cancer, I feel that, you know, because we are the nurturers and we want to heal and we want to help and be of service to others, but I feel like it's being mindful of how much you give. You know, I've been getting a lot of like Six of Pentacles energy, where it's just like there's a need for reciprocity that's kind of coming through there, especially when it comes to like your gifts and things, Cancer. And it's just like how much we may be investing in something, because I feel like it's just like maybe for some it's just like they're like, oh well, come on, Cancer, like why can't you always do this thing for me, like why can't we do what's different this time, you know, just like it almost feels like a bullying type of energy. Let me get some tarot on that, Cancer. Let me get some details. All right. All right, Cancer. So there's our ruler. Let me get some. I like this High Priestess because it's like, let's get some eyes on some things, but let's trust that intuition. But let me get some more on that. Thank you. All right, let's see what's going on here, Cancer. Alright, so you have our ruler, the High Priestess in reverse, and then you have the Four of Wands, the Nine of Swords, and then the King of Moons here, Cancer. And I do feel like for some, I'm more so kind of like, and not to say that this is like a relationship or anything along those lines, but the example would be to where I don't know. It's just like I feel like it's just like there's this energies of something like trying to force their way into your lives here, Cancer. Something that's like they know that like that there's this energy of just like, and this could be in a relationship, this could be in work, this could maybe be with like family, with friends. And again, it's not like I feel like they're trying to it doesn't feel like it's coming from a harmful place per se, but it's just like I feel like it's something that they expect of you, Cancer, and it just I feel like that there's because the High Priestess, where yes, it's about intuition. I'm more so kind of getting the Moon energy, where it's just like kind of playing to your emotions. It's just like that. Maybe there's this sense of might be trying to play to the sense of guilt or something along those lines, where it just feels like that. You know, you're used to being the one that is always up. That's the nurturer, the savior, the helper, the this, the that, the other, and I feel like it's like weighing that kind of pressure there, Cancer, is it's putting a lot on you there. So just one aspect there, but well, I do kind of feel like for some others, and now it's like kind of coming through a little bit less, but I feel that there's this energy that, again, just kind of trusting your intuition, that there's something as far as like resisting that maybe we've been feeling kind of this energy of like anxiety lately, as far as just like maybe we've been getting these signals as far as like to, Cancer, why don't you, have you ever thought about moving to a different place, or maybe have you thought about doing this or doing that, or something along those lines, Cancer. But I don't know, Cancer. I do feel like I'm leaning more towards that first thing I was like, or that what I was just talking about with if it feels like that someone is like trying to take advantage of your kindness or that your emotions, it's just like just making sure that we are putting up these boundaries and things. All right? Let me get a yeah. I thought so. Let me get a little bit more with the High Priestess before we move on to that. Move on to the next energy. Thank you. Interesting, Cancer. So you have the Page of Moons in reverse here, and then we have the Ace of Moons, and then the King of Wands upright for clarification for the High Priestess. And it feels that with this energy here, that maybe for some it's just like it's like I almost feel like that it's like others are maybe like presenting you with different plans and things. Maybe they want you to do this with your energy, or just like it's almost like this almost like this forcing energy. But I feel that, or maybe even it's just like I'm almost even getting this energy of just like with the and by the way, Cancer, the moons are cups in this deck, and then the stars are pentacles. But I feel like that is like it's like they may even try to tell you how to feel or something like that. And it just feels that with the Page of Moons, there's this almost like this kind of like shrinking energy. I'm getting almost like almost like an authoritative energy with the King of Wands here, or just like this, or it's just like I don't know, like it's like, for example, it's like maybe we have this you want to start a business for like hot air balloons, but others are just like, well, Cancer, like that's not practical or something along those lines. You got to do this instead, and it's just like it's. I don't know. I feel like with the, hmm, yeah, just really pay attention to Cancer. If something doesn't really resonate with you, I feel like don't resist that energy. As far as just like kind of stick to your guns there. Just far as just like it's like making being okay with like or not feeling guilty about maybe denying someone's plans, or maybe they have this one thing in mind, but you're just like, nah, I'm not quite feeling that. So, well, why can't? Well, don't worry about it because I'm not feeling it. Like it's a and like because I mean, how we feel and things really does matter, Cancer. So yeah, I hope that makes sense. That's interesting little shift there, but let's get a little bit more on this, Cancer. Because I feel like that's the thing with being like an empath too. Just like you always want to be there of service and be there to help, and just as a healer. But I feel like that first, I don't know. It's like, let me get a little bit more on that, Cancer. Thank you. See what's going on here. Interesting, yeah. Because you got the. So you have the Five of Swords, the Page of Stars, the Queen of Stars, and then the Wanderer here, Cancer. And this is kind of what I was kind of feeling. It's just like the Five of Swords is like this is Venus in Aquarius, and I feel like that's a very that's a very social kind of placement for Venus and like for the Empress. Like there's a love for the collective there, but I feel that it's just like I almost feel like for some it's just like that we may have kind of like lost like our way or something along those lines. It's like we've been kind of like I feel like there's a need to kind of go void a course here for a little bit. Like I'm really kind of getting it with the Wanderer as far as like paying attention to how others maybe thoughts and like influences and like emotions they may kind of shift on like affect you, Cancer, because that takes away from your resources. I feel like with the Queen of Stars here, and it's just like I don't know, it just feels like that. It's like they're like I almost feel like the Page of Stars here is like we're just starting up stuff again just because of others. But again, with the Page of Moons being in reverse here, it's just like, is this really what you want? Is this really how you feel like you want to, again, spend your healing energy and things along those lines? And we were talking about that with the Pisces energy, like how. But let me get a little bit more with this Wanderer here, Cancer. Because I'm almost kind of getting this in the Thoth deck that I use in like on the other channel. The Queen of Cups, she has, so that's one of our cards. The Queen of Cups is impressionable by the energies of the other cards around her. And that's what it kind of feels like here, that it's just like instead of like being around like considering others, we need to consider just like what we solely want in this thing, like there's and it's not like we're just like let me get some more on this Wanderer. Thank you. All right, Cancer. Interesting. So the Wanderer is clarified by the Seven of Swords, the Knight of Stars, and then the Sun card here. And it's interesting that you're racking up the star family here. Because I feel like it's just like, because maybe even for some others, I feel like that maybe there is. I'm just thinking about like with Pisces and like with this eight of Leo here. That's very creative energy, and even the Sun is associated with like the fifth house, which is the house of creativity, love, things along those lines, and I feel like for some, it's just like maybe we're feeling to be either like this is I don't know, it's like maybe others are expecting us to have like one game plan for us, or you know, they want us to do one thing for us, but it's not true to ourselves here. I feel like there's an alternative. Or it's like we may even be just kind of like more so it's like kind of like lying to ourselves as far as just like we have to do these things, we have to be of service, you know, like this is like the, but again, Cancer, there's that balance that's needing to be in the mix here, like and I feel like with the sun, it's just like this is truly like these actions and these things that you're doing, and this like constantly, you know, doing all the time for others, and you know, always considering others' perspectives, but others not considering yours. Maybe even it's just like, is this really what we want in this thing? You know, it's reciprocity. So, interesting, Cancer. Let's get some advice from Neptune and Jupiter. All right, Cancer. 2 days in the row of the Chariot. I love it. Let's see, and that's I love it. Because for us and our ruler to pop out here, Cancer. Let me get some more. Because, you know, well, while I'm shuffling, because it feels like with the Chariot, it feels like it's staying true to your course there, Cancer. And oh, Cancer, I'm dropping stuff. Oh, let me see what else is going on here before we move on. Oh, a lot of interesting, Cancer. You already got a lot of people here, but you have the. Oh, and that's interesting too. That Mars and all right. Let me tell you what's going on. So you have the Emperor and the King of Swords in reverse. And then you have the Ten of Stars, the Tower, and the Chariot, us, upright. And let's switch back over here, Cancer. Because I feel like with this, it's like, I feel like for some, it's just like, because that's interesting that both, what I was saying is like, it's interesting that both the Emperor, oh, I'm still showing it down there, Cancer. It's interesting that both the Emperor and their ruler Mars came out, because the Emperor's Aries energy, and how we have us and the High Priestess here, the Moon. But I feel like it's like not allowing others, emperors, to affect your change there, Cancer, and affect how you take action towards whatever it is that you're doing. You know, I feel like whether this be, you know, if you don't feel like, let's say someone wants you to, maybe with like work, they want you to work like overtime or something along those lines. And I mean, like, that's not a great example. I don't know. It's like maybe like others like, or maybe it's like, or it could be like, you know, it's like where coworkers like expect you to just like pick up things. For example, it's like, well, Cancer, you always do this stuff here. What, like, what's different? You know, like why can't you do this thing? It's like, I don't know. It's like, that's very interesting energy there, Cancer. But I feel like it's staying true to your course, like I was saying with the Chariot here, and kind of really kind of following your heart. And like if your intuition is telling you no, you can't do this thing, it's just like if there may not be this understanding from others at first, but I mean you gotta let me get a little bit more with this Ten of Stars before we close out, because that's, because you know the Ten of Stars is your like your legacy, and I almost feel like that's what people kind of expect you to just be, the one that just the helper all the time. Yeah. Well, okay, thank you. So the Ten of Stars is clarified by the Three of Stars, and this could be a card of collaboration, and it's just like, but I feel like that again, this feels kind of forced here. Like it's just like people are asking us to do things that we necessarily don't want to do, or you know, it's just like we're really kind of letting the opinions of others really kind of sway the direction at which we're taking our Chariot, as opposed to more so being again more like autonomous or something along those lines, Cancer. And I do feel like, because it's like again, I do feel like the Nine of Swords, it's just like it's something that is just like it's weighing down on our heads here. It's just like it's feels like a lot that's going on here, Cancer. But and I hope that because you do got an awful lot of kings, pages, queen, you got a queen here. Yeah, Cancer. Just make sure that we're just, I think I'm, yeah, hope I do. I hope that that made sense, but I think I'm gonna leave that there. So, hmm. But if anything resonated with you, Cancer, I mean, give it a thumbs up in the sense of just like these are things that I feel like it happens from time to time. You know, we want to please others and things. You know, make sure that others are feeling good, but I just feel like we want to be mindful of doing it to our detriment there, Cancer, and really making that like a routine and things. But you know, and share this if you know someone who happens to, I don't know who does that, you know, who just like tends to just like, okay, well, yes, I'll help you, King of Moons. Oh, you need help, Page of Stars? Absolutely. Oh, Queen of Stars? Yeah, no, yeah, I got 10 things I'm doing, but why not? Because, oh, does the King of Wands, you know what I mean? If you notice someone who's just kind of doing that, Cancer, just, you know, share that with them, because there's one thing of being of service, but there's another just like of over giving ourselves, and, you know, just like spreading ourselves too thin, because if we drain all of our cups, you know, then there's what do we have left to give, Cancer? And then if you haven't already, subscribe, hit that bell button, get notified on all these videos each day. And then last little thing, you know, check your sun, your moon, your rise. Just check your chart, Cancer, your Mars, Jupiter, Neptune, and come on over to my other channel, Alchemist 8. I do videos. I do weekly videos, monthly ones, yearly ones. It's a good old time, Cancer. And all that housekeeping is down in the description box below. But let me get you surprise cards here, so I can get you out of here, Cancer. And you got the Ace of Wands here in reverse. And, you know, I feel like that there is this, it's like I feel like there's this like I'm almost getting like this energy of like it's like I'm not wanting to. It's just like, and I feel like if your inner voice is saying like, no, I really don't feel like doing this. You know, I feel like it's okay to do like to take some time for you. You know, to just like kind of pull back, and his it's your energy, Cancer, and again, I don't feel like, you know, like some of this could be like a maybe a little more aggressive, but sometimes that even like this it can come across as innocuous, or like, you know, people are just like, oh well, Cancer, you know, like, you know, I got this one thing, you know, like, you know, my house, like just coming up with all these excuses, like just playing to your heartstrings, Cancer, and really kind of playing to your emotions and trying to use that to their advantage. You know what I mean? Let me get your oracle card here so I can get you out of here, Cancer. Thank you. Interesting. All right, Cancer. So you have the 51st card here, which is the Dragon's Blood, which is the Anima Mundi card, and this is ruled by the by Black. I think it's the Black Moon Lilith, and then Pluto here. And I do feel like that there's this energy of power that's being put into play here. You know, it's just like it's kind of seeing people's intentions for what they really are. You know, and I don't. Because I almost feel like with this dragon's blood, just like how this is bleeding here. Because with this energy, it's just like the tree that this plant that it comes with. I've heard of you get the sap from it. It looks like blood, and I feel like that this energy is just like it's like how much we're sacrificing. You know, of this like this sacred energy that you kind of have here, Cancer, because you're and this may seem like a maybe a little overinflated, but I mean you giving yourself like that, you are tapping into your that intuitive resource, you know, your spiritual resources, things, you know, when you're dealing with that, like people are kind of playing to that empathy, or, you know, pulling your heartstrings or something along those lines. But I'm even getting like I was just like for some reason like a bleeding heart just kind of popped into my head, like the term, like, you know, like that, just like that one that just gives all the time. It's just like always wanting to be of service, just give all the time there, Cancer. But just pay attention to that, Cancer, because Pluto can deal with power and, you know, like authority and things along those lines. And, you know, maybe the sense yeah, just something to pay attention to there, Cancer. But I think I'm gonna leave that there. So you stay safe out there, Cancer. You know, with this pressures and things along those lines, and definitely keep eyes on the moon there, Cancer. You know, she's super full. She wants you to listen. You know, as far as like if something's not quite resonating with you, or you know, but yeah, when you get a moment there, Cancer, leave some moon water out there that, you know, manifest with intention, and just kind of just rejuvenate your energies, and just like, cause do a little moon bathing, Cancer. And I will catch you on the next one tomorrow.